if you're going through a divorce or thinking about a divorce, you're not starting from baseline. So you're almost like a hair trigger where things are going to activate you. Things are going to set you off. So when you're activated, you're in that fight, flight, freeze mode. All your logical thinking is gone, and you're focusing on the moment. Welcome back to Getting Divorced Without Losing Your Mind. This is Corey Shapiro. The goal of this podcast is to help you make better decisions before things blow up, before you make or do something that you can't fix. That's the really goal of this podcast. And that's the goal of my book too, Getting Divorced Without Losing Your Mind. Today's episode, I'm focusing on when we're activated. Listen, it happens to all of us all the time. We're human. But what you can change is you don't have to act when you're activated. Okay, so let me do a couple definitions. When you're activated, especially when you're low capacity, because if you're going through a divorce or thinking about a divorce, you're not starting from baseline. You don't generally have those reserves. So you're almost like a hair trigger where things are going to activate you. Things are going to set you off. So when you're activated, you're in that fight, flight, freeze mode. All your logical thinking is gone, and you're focusing on the moment. We just finished a series on the difference between being an operator and an architect. And I just want to review those concepts because I think they're really important to understand. The operator is that reactive side of us. And I don't want you to think you're always an operator and you're always an architect. It's fluid. The operator is when you're reactive, when you're thinking short term. The architect is when you're building a vision. What is your post-divorce life? What do you want that to look like? What do you want your children to say about your divorce? And that's what you think about in these moments when you're activated. Now, as a divorce attorney, I get extreme cases. Who's going to hire a divorce attorney unless it's an extreme case? And I want to give you a couple examples of what I've seen, just to bring this home. But when you're activated, sometimes what happens is you might have what normally would be just an argument, but because of the history, because of the context, next thing you know, the police are involved, and there's been no physical violence. A lot of emotional violence, or very minimal physical violence. Okay. I also see people so scared about a divorce, which is confusing to me on the financial side because most people know they're sharing their assets, but there's so many people who do pre-divorce planning, and I think that reactive side is where they withdraw money, they hide assets, they're doing all these different things, which causes so much stress. So you see it with kids, because sometimes these fights happen with children, and maybe the police come with the kids there, which really changes the whole dynamic of the divorce. And you also see it with the finances, which makes things so much more difficult. So my core message to you, and it's basically a variation of the theme, which is when we're activated and we're not thinking from the best side of ourselves, all I want you to do is nothing. That's what I want you to do. I want to take a break. Can you take that break with me? And I want you to engage what time and space does for you. I was reading about Abraham Lincoln back in the day. He used to be so upset about people like his generals and people he was working with. He used to write them letters, but he never mailed them. And he would look at these letters the next day and see what he came up with. And I think this is harder for us in this generation because how fast things are moving. We just expect things to be instantaneous, like send a text message. We're not going to even wait for a letter back then, which would probably take weeks to get to. But this technology is not helpful for us because our minds are based on millions of years of evolution. So we got to slow it down. Take that pause. You can do it. It's hard for me. I know it's going to be hard for you, but you can do it. All right. My power phrase today is you're not broken. You're not broken when you're activated. You're just activated, and you don't have to act on it. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining. Thanks for doing this hard work. I'm trying to make your divorce easier before things go off the rails, before things get derailed. And listen, I believe in you. I know this is hard work, but I believe in you. I'm Corey Shapiro. Until next time.
This podcast offers general information only. It cannot replace legal advice. If you need tailored advice, contact an attorney licensed to practice in your area.